Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, May 18th, and I'm here for my weekly stitching update. I had one comment about the things on the wall that I have up here, wanting to see them up close, and I do have a Fancy Lady Parade earlier in my video, so I'll try to get a link to that in the description box so you can find it easier. But there's also a playlist, I believe, that has various finish and whip parades of a variety of the few that I've done. They're all in a playlist together, so you can see those a little bit closer up on there. And I think let's just dive in, because it's been a pretty good stitching week. Relatively speaking, I've had my time has been divided amongst stitching, so my main projects haven't gotten as much time as I would have liked, but I have done a lot of things. So first, I have a little bit of haul to show you. I got my color and cotton threads for April. Yeah, it even says it on there. And these are the all colors that I get. So here these are. They're really pretty, nice. This one is nice. It's a nice neutral, pale ochre. And it's nice to have neutrals once in a while because you need them more than you think. Sweet potato is a nice warm browny tan. Seahorse, that's a fun one. Good amount of variegation. These are showing up pretty true. It's kind of a rainy, it stopped raining, but it's still cloudy. It rained this morning. But I think it's showing the colors nicer when it's got some clouds out there. Oceana is a light oceany blue. And Sapphire, which I actually have one already, so this is a repeat, but you can't go wrong with that color. It's a nice deep rich blue. So there we go. Very pretty. I'm always happy to get those in the mail. They're always pretty. Now I can get those on bobbins into my master box of color and cottons to be available for my next color conversion. That's the word I was looking for. I also received some stuff from the Fat Quarter shop, so I'll share a little bit of that with you. The first thing were these little plastic squares that go with, it's like an expansion pack I think for quilting, and I don't do enough quilting to probably use these, but a quilter could use them. So I have dabbled a little bit in quilting, but I don't know that I've never used anything like this. These, I guess normally you get a package that comes with like A to Z and 1 to 9 to label your quilt blocks, and these are extras to give you more options for labeling your blocks if you have a complicated pattern. And these were kind of cool. They're library card label pack. It's like to put on the back of your finished projects, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like a little library card, and you can fill out all your information and write on the front and the back if you have lots to say. So I thought that was kind of fun to be able to put similar to the ones by Lindy Stitches that are a sticker. So it's something to put on the back of your project to show what it is and any pertinent information. And this was a quilt thing too. It's a Christmas quilt, which is actually really pretty. All of these things are tempting me to be like, to pick up quilting again. I'm like, I don't need another hobby. I don't have time for another hobby. I thought there was a bigger picture in here. Here it is. This is the whole thing. So that's pretty. It's called a Very Coriander quilt, because I guess it's a Very Coriander Christmas or something. Because that's the name of the designer of the fabric, I think. I don't know a whole lot about fancy quilt stuff. When I worked at Joann Fabrics when I was a senior in high school, and part of my job was stocking all the fabric after it had been cut. I cut fabric, and I stocked the crafts, and I stocked the fabric. And it was so tempting to see all those pretty fabrics all the time. I figured, well, I have to teach myself how to quilt just so I can use some of these. So I'd made I made 3 quilts, like a lap size quilt just to test, to try to see it. And then I did that same pattern in a queen size for my parents, and then a twin size quilt with some flower applique that I used on my college dorm bed. So I've made 3, and I still have some quilting fabric in my like leftovers from those quilts, but not significant amounts. So I could probably do a scrappy quilt or something, but nothing Christmassy. But anyways, eventually someday that may come back out again because I do like to sew. There were 2 patterns in here too. The Starlit Snowflake, which is actually really pretty. It reminds me of like ink circles or something. There's 3 color suggestions there. Obviously you could do whatever you want. Something I thought that could be fun is to do this in a toile, or do it on a sparkly fabric, or, you know, add some bling. You could even do this in all beads. That's an option. That could be fun. Now I have an idea. So anyways, that could be a fun thing to do. And this is one I saw made up. I've seen somebody do it with the HOME spelled out all in one and do like a long pillow. This is the finish they have here, stitched on the fabric that looks like wood, which is cool. I don't know that I would ever stitch it, but it's very cute, so you never know. All right, so that was that. And one other thing, I went ahead and print out, or I only printed out one, but I downloaded the Brooks Books Advent Animals. You can kind of see through there because I printed it double-sided, but this is the first one, and it's toner save, so it's a little bit brighter than you're seeing there. But it takes all DMC, and I keep seeing people stitch these, and most recently is Dina from Half Stitch Cross Stitch. She's just powering through these and start and finish in one day, most of them, and here and there amongst her other projects. They're just so cute, and I like how she's doing them. She's including the numbers, but she's not including the border, and I think I will do it that way as well. What I'm thinking is I found a frame option on Amazon that I put on my wish list, so we'll see. But it's like a stand-up open frame that has some rings on it, and so then I can make the little cross stitches. Probably I have a whole bunch of leftover light blue Ada from my kits that are too small to go with the kit patterns that I'm making for my Etsy shop. But I could cut them out and make little ornaments out of it. So I was thinking of using my 18 count Ada for the ornaments, and then sewing them onto a piece of cardstock and putting them on the rings, and then I can flip it every day in Christmas, in December, for a little Advent thing that's like small and compact. So that's my idea on that. My thoughts. I've never done any start a day thing, but I'm feeling all of people's mania plans have me feeling adventurous, I guess. I have heard of people who do Jolly July, where they start like an ornament every day in July. So I was thinking of maybe starting one of those every day in July. So we'll see. We'll see what else I could commit myself to, if I can handle that. Because I still want to probably work on a few other things in July too, like my normal projects. So we'll see about that. But that could be something fun to have on the docket. So anyways, I have a few of my travel projects, which are no longer travel projects, but my all the time things. I have the Feels Like Home Mystery Sal by the Fat Quarter Shop. Part 3 came out on Friday. So here's where mine is at. I'm stitching mine 1/1 on the 25 count Cloud Lugana, and this is part 3. And it brought in this pop of pink. This is Strawberry Parfait, and then this one is Caribbean Waters, which is the darker shade from the wing. And I love the variegation that it is coming out on that. So yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely. I had somebody ask in Instagram this morning if I did the house wrong, or I don't think they used the word wrong, but if I was using, if I did the darkest color, if that was what I was supposed to use. And as far as I can tell on the chart that I have, I did this as charted. They had this medium gray Plymouth Rock was charted for the gable up here, but the rest of the house was charted for Zach Black, which was the darker gray color. So I believe if I'm reading my chart correctly, that is what is called for. Everything is placed as called for. And I think it's turning out really cute. So I will be, what I have been doing with this to kind of regulate my time, I guess, is I'm doing one length of thread a day on my customer piece to keep progressing on that, which I need to finish by the end of the month. I'm doing pretty well on that one. And then I'll work on this piece for the rest of like the afternoon, or any times when I'll be watching TV or going outside. It'll be this one until that part is finished. And then when that part is finished, if I have any time left, I've been working on the school day sampler to get this finished for my daughter's teacher. Also want to get this to her by the end of the school year, at the beginning of June. So this one, when did I finish that part? This part I finished a little bit early. I started it Monday after I filmed the video, and then I think I finished it Thursday. So then after that, I went over to this. And so this is by Trellis and Time, and my daughter picked the colors, and she was going to help me work on it, but she stopped. She officially told me this week that she's not going to do any more. I said, so are you going to do any more on this? Nope. Not even the bird? Nope. I'm like, well, okay. So it's all me from here on out, but I'll put a little note on the back that she picked the colors. She did the bird's head, most of the glue bottle, and part of this border around the S, and then the rest of it's mine. And that's okay. All right, so here it is right now, with next to where it was before. It's a little warmer than it's showing, but it's close. This is beige 18 count Aida, and I'm trying to finish the things on the top completely, but there's lots of colors like spread out throughout in little bits. So I'll get like one string and I'll do it everywhere from the top down until the string runs out. So that's why my bust looks a little half-baked there. But the glue bottle's done. The pencil is done. I changed the pencil a little bit. It was charted. Let's see if I can. Anyways, it was charted to have 3 black squares. Sorry, I got a text. It started to have 3 black squares for the tip of the pencil, which when I stitched it, my black just overwhelmed the rest of it. And my yellow is pretty pale. This color is raw linen by Color and Cotton, and that was pretty pale. It just looked bad. So I went ahead and did some 3/4 stitches. Try to focus without my face. And then I only did 1 black. And then they had this band green, but typically the little thing before the eraser is in metal. So I went ahead and changed that to gray, also because it was directly above the green in the leaf, and I thought that was a little bit too much green right there. So I went ahead and made that gray, brought the gray down for the flagpole. The yellow went to the school bus and the bees. The black went to the bees and the school bus and the start of the chalkboard. Oh, there's also yellow in the bell. What else did I do? I did this pink on the eraser, came down here to do the book and the heart and the start of a flower. So, when I finished the bird, and came down here and did these bus windows. I was halfway through them before I realized this color is also the windows in the house. So, but there's also some light blue in the border. So next time I get that color out, I'll do the house windows or the school windows and then the border down here. And the dark blue also did the book. And I don't, oh yeah, there is some dark blue in the flag, but I think I must have run out of my string or something. But anyways, I'm thinking of putting some French knot stars on the flag because there's no stars shown. So we'll see. I did order from Hobby Lobby a frame for my niece's piece and for each of these three teacher gifts. So I got a note today, maybe yesterday, that they have shipped now. So hopefully those will come in soon and I can get those framed up. So they'll be ready to gift soon. So my plan this week will be the same, where I'll work on the next part of this starting now, today, after I get my string done on my customer's piece. And then when this part 4 is finished, if there's any more time in the week, I'll work on the teacher gift. I'm a little bit ahead on Bloomtopia, but I do want to get that teacher gift done. So I may prioritize the teacher gift until I feel like the week before I have to do the Bloomtopia part, because I am a part ahead still. So the one that's coming out on the 1st, I've already finished. So that gives me some time on that one. I also worked on my temperature tree a little bit. I got caught up on this yesterday. So instead of the teacher gift, I worked on this, although I did have some time. Oh yeah, we watched Deadliest Catch again last night. So last night I worked on the teacher gift a little bit more than I was expecting to. So, I mean, any time is good time. So this is my temperature tree. I have a parked thread. So here it is now. This is on 28 count, light blue even weave by Artiste, the Hobby Lobby brand. It's by Zweigart. And I finished May's branch and all the flower, or all the leaves up until I guess Saturday, because I worked on it yesterday. So that's coming along really nice. And since today we did get a little cooler snap, and then it's starting to warm up again into the 80s. But then today it was it's very cool looking out there, so we might get a nice blue up here as well. It's fun to think of the weather in terms of what color do I get to stitch today, instead of, you know, what it's going to feel like outside or whatever. It's a very different way to look at it, but it's fun. So there's that. And I'm glad it didn't take me that long to get caught up. I needed like 5 more stitches at the end of the branch that my thread just couldn't do. You know, the thread won that game of thread chicken. I didn't win. So I started a new length and then just parked it over here because I only needed to do like 5 stitches, and I needed to do the leaves. I didn't want to take any more time to work on trunks, but it's ready to go for next time when I need to start doing the June branch. So, and that was all the miscellaneous stitching that I did. So now on to Stitch Mania stuff. So I was working on Quick Stitch Anne of Green Gables. It's by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I can take it out of my folder now because it's done. But this is the crop that I did. It's by Amy Stewart, and I did a 105 by 105 crop, which made it turn out 2 5/8 inch square because I did mine on 40 count, 1/1 on silk gauze, and it's done now. So I already framed it. I'll put it over here so you can see it next to, there we go. So you can see it next to last time. And I don't know if it's gonna focus. Maybe that helped. But here it is, all done. I really like how it turned out. I already had this frame. It's a little 3-inch frame, and it is definitely just perfect, what I envisioned. So I don't know what else to say about this one. This was part of a experiment to try silk gauze because I'd never tried it before, and my friend Shelly, Key X Stitch, she gave me a couple pieces that she wasn't going to use, and one of them I decided I would try to stitch something with white space. So I did this one a year or two ago, and this is a free pattern by DMC called Falling Leaves, and sometimes you can find it still online various places. This is a 2-inch frame I got at Hobby Lobby, and this is a 3-inch frame I got at Michael's. And so this one has white space. You can see the fabric, and it's backed by, seriously, this is how I frame these. The little picture that comes inside the frame, I turn it around, I put the stuff on, and I fold the silk gauze around the frame, around that piece of paper, and I put it back in the frame. This one I actually laced a little bit around that paper very lightly because it wasn't staying as nicely as I wanted it to. I wanted to make sure it was centered nicely. This one I think I just folded it in there and stuck it in. So this is full coverage and this is not, and I thought, well, now my silk gauze experiment is complete. I don't know that I'll do any more on silk gauze. I don't mind 40 count half stitches for full coverage, but I like Vertical even weave for that instead because it's a little bit easier to see what you're doing, because silk gauze is very holy, so you see right through it, and Vertical, the threads are thicker because it's regular fabric, and so it's a little bit easier to see where your stitches need to go. So, but it was a fun experiment and I enjoyed both of these. So, yay! So now I have moved on to Quick Stitch Iris, which is another Hade by Josephine Wall. And this one is on 25 count, 1/1. And I'm pretty happy with how far I've gotten on this one in the last few days. Still a few parked threads, but this is where it's at now. And I'll show you next to last time. And lots of stuff. I know I did lots of green down in here, and there's a color down here that I finished completely. I did quite a few blues. I did some up here also. Oh, this one is like this is along the edge over here. That's as far as the pattern goes. So definitely want to keep working on these parked threads in the next 3 days. Today is the 18th, so there's 3 days left of my Stitch Mania, Monogomania. So hopefully I can get these finished. They are long though, so we shall see. But I have noticed, because these are full crosses, the longer strings get worked up faster than half stitch. Like when I was working on the Nativity and my half stitches, trying to use up my string was taking longer. This one that gets used up more because you're making the full cross. So that is helpful. So that's where that is now. Really happy with that. This is just white 25 count linen, I believe. But it's fairly even. And I like how that's coming out. It's really fun to work on. The colors are nice and soothing. So that's fun. And then on the 21st, which is the first day of post Monogomania, I'm going to be starting, I'm doing my May a little backwards. I'm not starting anything in the first 20 days. I'm starting a couple things after. It's all right. It's all good. I'm going to start Winged Monarch by Buttons and Beads. This is my first Mill Hill kit, and I'm excited to do this one. It is on perforated paper. It's yellow, and it's got the threads and the beads and a little button and the instructions. So I think I will probably work on separating these. Hopefully I'll have time to work on that before Thursday, so that on Thursday I can just start stitching. I will pull out the tacky bob that I have, and right now I have one tacky bob, which is like a CD case that you open and it's got sticky stuff inside. And right now I have Stargazer beads in there covering both sides because I was working on this beads in the sky of Stargazer using only one color of thread, and I just wanted to go from bead to bead to bead without changing my thread and going from box to box. So I just had them on the tacky bob. But I think I'll consolidate those onto one side and I'll put these Mill Hill beads on the other side, because that's what I've heard is helpful, to just dump them out and then you can pick the colors that you need. So I'll probably do that and put these on like a little piece of cardstock, hole punch, whatnot, to separate the colors and be good to go. What I decided to do, oh, I forgot my little planner, but what I decided to do with the last 11 days in May, I have 4 projects I want to work on. I want to work on this one, my first Joan Elliott start, and 2 full coverages that I'm doing for Full Coverage Fanatics around the world in France, I believe. And so because there's 4 projects in 11 days, I thought I could do 2 days on this one, because this is the smallest one, and 3 days on each of the other ones. Because of that, my original plan to start my Joan Elliott on the 28th, exactly a week after this one, doesn't really work with the rotation. So I was wondering, I have like, I wrote them down too in my book. There's like 5 stitchers who want to start a Joan Elliott with me on the 28th. And I was thinking, if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to push it to the 29th, which is Friday, because then I can do 2 days on the Mill Hill kit, 3 days on a full coverage, 3 days on a full coverage, and then start Joan Elliott on Friday and do the last 3 days in May on the Joan Elliott. If you prefer one of the other 3-day chunks, that could work. I'm flexible. We could do the Saturday, this coming Saturday, if you want to start right away. Or let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so, or Tuesday. Saturday, Tuesday, or next Friday. So I think Friday would be fun to start it on the weekend. But if anybody doesn't like that, it doesn't fit into your plans, let me know and maybe we can try to figure that out. But that's kind of my plan for now. I'll do this one starting on Thursday, this coming Thursday, and then I'll plan to work on Princess de Broglie on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I may wait and film until Tuesday so I can have a full rotation done on this before I come back, but we'll see. I like filming on Mondays, so we'll see how it goes. And then I'll work on 3 Sisters, on the next 3-day chunk, and then the last 3-day chunk I'll work on my Joan Elliott, which I didn't bring up here because that's next week. I did bring this whip up to show you for Princess de Broglie, just because I think I've gone back and forth on this a lot. And last week I said I was planning to restart. This week I think I'm leaning more towards keeping it. This is my whip so far on Princess de Broglie. She's a golden kite pattern with blends, and I have some parking happening up here in the background, and I did full cross country for her face. I was considering restarting her on a different fabric, and I could do that. I'd have to do, if I did something small, I'd have to do half stitches, which I wasn't sure how that would work on with the no background. When something's completely full coverage, half stitch works, but when the edges are jagged, I was a little hesitant. And then I went in and actually looked at the PDF and confirmed that the colors are the same. So I think I'm going to just try to combine the patterns. I have an updated pattern now that works with Pattern Keeper that at first glance looked like it was slightly different than my old pattern. But I will come over to this section and try to line it up and see how close it is. Because I have had another golden kite that they changed the symbols, but but the actual location of the colors was the same. And when I was looking up in this area, at first glance, it looked like even the location of the colors was different. But what I'm going to hope to do, I'll come over here and look at her face and see if I can get that to line up properly and go from there and get it charted in Pattern Keeper. What I might end up doing though, because I hate the background, there's just so much of it. I don't hate it, there's just too much of it. Is I might pull a Savannah, so Livy, she's done this on a project where she had some stuff stitched at the top, and then she went ahead and just cut off the first few rows, and I might do something like that and just start stitching, give her like an inch or two above her head. And then so this stuff I guess could stay in the frame, but then I'll start stitching like right along here and just cut this part off once it's framed, you know? Or let's be real, it'll never be finished in my lifetime, but that's okay. It's the process. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is I may just cut off the top, and there's also like a little bit on this side that I may cut off too. Maybe. Let's see, where is it? So here's the cover picture. So I'll take off, the page comes down to like right there. So that's why I'd have to do a partial page, which is why I didn't cut it off in the first place. I just figured it'd be easier to do a page break. But in Pattern Keeper, you can just cut it off wherever you want a lot easier. There's also some of this I don't care about, so I might cut it off like right there. You can still see some of the chair. And then I wouldn't have this confetti thing up here either to worry about, so I might just do that. Do that, and then that. And I'll keep all of her blue dress because that's why I got this. I'm not getting rid of any of that blue dress. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'll stick with my original fabric and whip. And so we'll see how that goes. I'll get this. It's subject to change because if I get in Pattern Keeper and things are totally not compatible, I may have to restart it anyways. But at this point, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get this in Pattern Keeper, and hopefully it can blend and go together properly. So that's my hope. So I'll get started on that. I'll hopefully get Pattern Keeper updated early in the week because I'll start this on Saturday. I'll start working on this one. So that's my plan. Wish me luck. I think that's all I have to show you. Not a ton today, but still enough to jabber on about for a half hour. Yeah, so I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying what you're stitching and having fun with Stitch Mania. I'm still a little over a week behind on my videos, but I'm loving them. I'm enjoying seeing what you guys are doing and enjoying either working on your whips, working on new starts. I like Spectator Mania. I like people talking about that because if you don't want to do it, but it's fun to just watch other people do it, that's fun too. So I have a few whips that are kind of, you know, hi, come back to me. You know, they're calling to me that I'm hoping to get to in June. So I think I probably have too much going in, you know, in June already that I want to work on, but that's kind of the fun of it, right? Is trying to just enjoy it all and make it all fit and have fun with it. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope you're doing the same. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and happy stitching. Bye.